Hi everybody, this is the Flat Cap Cafe Racer. I'm at Mr. Bill's shop. Say hello, Mr. Bill.
Hello, Mr. Bill.
And today, Mr. Bill's going to put his monkey bars on his Moto Guzzi. Mr. Bill can't have bars high enough, so these are just short of ape hangers.
Way short of ape hangers.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Okay, what we got here now is Mr. Bill sitting on the bike with his what we call the regular bars on. Are those the stock bars that are on it right now?
As far as I know, those were the stock bars, but some people say the stock bars were black, not silver. But they may have made changes when they went to this engine, so I don't know. The angle of the pullback, but you start over?
No.
The angle of the pullback is a little flat for me. So my arms feel like they're out in the wind, and so I like a little more pullback, so I have a different wrist angle, and then a little bit higher, so that I'm not leaning so far forward for my back and my hips.
So your ab muscles aren't. All right. So I'm going to grab these other bars, and why don't you tell folks about these other bars?
Okay, these are Aprilia Mana 850 Mana bars. And they are the most recommended for making changes to the Moto Guzzi Grezzo and the Moto Guzzi 1200 Sport. So since I had them on my 1200 Sport, I thought I would try them on my Grezzo.
Can you fit them up there against that?
Kind of. Of course, it's a little bit higher than. Let's see. That's about a good compromise. 30. So I already have a 30 millimeter extension on this raising these bars, so I may or I may not need to take those off or have them cut in half, reduce the rise. I may not be able to use it because of the cables, or I may, if I use less, it may be all right. But for these bars in the standard position without these extension, they say that you don't, all the cables fit. So as high up with the extra 30 millimeters that I have it up, that could be an issue, and I may need to take that out.
Okay, we're going to speed this one up just a little bit. Basically, Mr. Bill's taking off the ends of for the grips, and there's a little thing that holds the bar end on, and unfortunately he'd loosened the bars up first, so he had to go back and tighten those up, which is not unusual. Kind of showing it where this goes in on the new one. Now he's going to be taking off on the throttle side, which is always the toughest side. Take that off first. Taking the reservoir and the brake lever assembly off. And he's going to be going to the switch. The switch gear on both sides have little recesses and dimples for holes drilled in the pinholes. So the new bars, unfortunately, do not have the pinholes. But we'll drill the pinholes out in a few. So he's got to get all that stuff loosened up and taken off. It takes a bit of time and effort. Better idea to do is get a picture before you do that. As you can see here, he's having a tough time getting that off. So there's not quite enough slack for him to slide this off like this. So he's going to loosen up the bars so he can move the bars left or right so he can get a little bit more slack to pull these off. And it's probably going to have a similar issue putting it back on.
Yeah.
Okay, both of them have notches on the undersides of the bar, and his new bar does not have one, so.
All right, so here's the question. How do we get this off now?
I know how to do it.
Without destroying it.
You didn't watch my video. Didn't you see me take mine off? He didn't watch my video.
I did watch your video.
How did my electric grips? All right. Then, I watched your video. How did I do that?
I don't remember.
Oh, I guess I'm going to get money out of this one.
I take my senior discount. I don't remember.
Well, what I did,
You could put a screwdriver in here, or in that, or in there.
put the screwdriver in and shoot a little WD-40 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wiggle it around a little bit. You know, use the Mr. Bill shuffle.
Okay.
So what do we say to the Flat Cap Cafe racer?
Say, Gump, you're a genius.
Now we're to the point where Mr. Bill's got to just take the bolts out of the handlebars. Then we can slide it over so we can get enough slack to take the throttle grip off.
The holes?
Yeah.
The pinholes? Right here.
At this point, we're laying up the old bars next to the new bars, making a measurement of the distance between where the hole is from the end of the bar. And we're going to take a center punch a couple of holes there, both sides. The throttle side was a little bit different than the different size hole. Going to drill a pilot hole first. Then we'll finish it with a 5/32. Like I said, the other side's a little bit bigger. I think that's 11/64.
Could play it like a flute now.
You see what I'm working with here, folks? We'll have the only Moto Guzzi with ape hangers on it. The Peter Fonda look. So, Mr. Bill, if you don't mind, tell the folks where you're at right now.
Okay, so the length of the front brake cable hose is slightly too short, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch tops, to have a nice fit and still have a little slack. So I'm looking at back here, look right here, you can see where the T is, and it's just sitting there. So it's not mounted, so that's good. So what I think I can do is just push up a little bit on these hoses in their clamps and make some slack. So now we got an issue with throttle cables.
Like I said, folks, when you make one modification, it doesn't just affect one thing. It usually affects one other thing, then that affects something, and it goes on like that. Again, Mr. Bill's solution here is to
Route at the same place where this electrical wire is. Pull it from here and move it back there.
So it's pulling.
No, actually, it's okay. Let's put it together and see what happens.
That always leads to a lot of good resolution right there. Let's see what happens. A little Jeremy Clarkson thing. How hard could it be?
How hard could it? We'll do that side first, just in case.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now we got to disassemble some of this stuff again, and actually take the handlebars loose and take the master cylinder back off and take the electrical back off so we can slide the handlebar grip off. Okay, we tried it and it was good, not sticking. The cable wasn't sticking until we got to, let me show them where, Mr. Bill.
Okay.
We were good to about right here. Then the cables weren't releasing, so
Full lock.
full lock. So you want your cables to be able to release at full lock.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to try to reroute that like we looked at a while ago. What he has to do is he has to take these pieces here out of the cable so he can take this off and reroute it around here. But he can't get it off because he doesn't have enough slack on the cable. Let's kind of a pain having to take all this stuff back off again just to get to some. So we got the throttle off. Now you got to take the throttle cables out of the twist grip. You got to get enough slack so you can do that. Got one.
Got one. Yeah, how do we get the other?
Like that.
Like that. You're right.
Flat cap cafe racer comes through again.
Yeah.
Part holding the cables together won't go through the bracket, so that has to be taken off and unscrewed. And it took us a while to figure out we could do that. Plan C is to reroute the cables through there. Now that we've got the little chunky thing off of the throttle, whether we can get it back on, well, yeah, I don't know about that. This part took a surprisingly long time to feed the cables through there and get them all the way through. My part, what I was dreading is trying to put that little thing that attached the two cables together, because it's not that easy to do. I want you to tell me which cable goes in which way. I'll get them in. I bravely went through and did this. It took me a long time to get it. And I actually got it pretty close that we only had to take a little slack out. We'll get the throttle cables back on. They're not adjusted, but they are back on. We think we got enough slack in here. Now we just need to move the handlebar so we can put this sliders back on again. We were getting pretty good at this part about taking the handlebars off and on and putting them back. I forgot how to put the cables, but got that straightened out. Got them back on there, and made some adjustments to make sure that they still had enough slack that it wasn't binding up when we pulled it all the way to the right, and did just fine. So the only thing we had to do was put the clutch lever back on and the twist grip. There we go. That's what it looks like. This is Flat Cap Cafe Racer with Mr. Bill.
Hey.
Did we get it done, Mr. Bill?
Oh, Jerry, I tell you what, you made it happen. Thank you so much.
And Mr. Bill's got his monkey bars.
Yep.
And Mr. Bill's a monkey, so there you go.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.